Alex Lee, tonight in Washington, D.C., a guilty verdict in the first federal trial related to the January 6th Capitol insurrection. A jury found rioter Guy Reffitt guilty of all 5 charges against him, including obstruction of a congressional proceeding, interfering with police during the riot, and transporting a firearm for that purpose. Let's bring in CNN's Paula Reed. Paula, this trial had some dramatic moments, including Reffitt's own son testifying against his father.
That's right, Jake. During the week-long trial, the jury heard testimony from Reffitt's teenage son, Jackson, who allegedly tipped off the FBI about his father before the attack. Now, Jackson testified that his dad had, quote, snowballed into a far-right extremist following the 2016 election of Donald Trump, and that he had become increasingly hostile to political figures who he believed were breaking the law. Now, the son also testified that his father threatened him and his sister, that if they turned him in, they would be traitors, and, quote, traitors get shot. But, Jake, the most damning evidence against Reffitt came from Reffitt himself. He repeatedly, both before and after the riot, recorded himself in various forums talking about what he was going to do, and then about what he had just done. Reffitt was charged with attempting to storm the Capitol while armed with a gun and zip ties. Prosecutors accuse him of being the one who, quote, lit the match on the west side of the Capitol, where some of the most brutal attacks on law enforcement took place. Interestingly, after today's verdict, his wife had a message for other defendants facing charges related to the Capitol attack. Let's take a listen.
Don't take a plea. Do not take a plea. They want us to take a plea. The reason that we have all guilty verdicts is they are making a point out of Guy, and that is to intimidate the other members of the 1-6ers. And we will all fight together.
Reffitt is scheduled to be sentenced on June 8th.
And Paula, could today's guilty verdict impact similar cases for other 1-6ers, as his wife called them?
Absolutely, especially when it comes to defense strategy. Jake, this was high stakes for the Justice Department. Lawyers representing other defendants are watching this closely, and this was a swift verdict. That sends a message that federal prosecutors have evidence to support charges, and that juries may not be sympathetic to those who allegedly participated in the Capitol attack. So, Jake, today's conviction could speed up plea deals in those other felony cases, unless, of course, they take that advice from Reffitt's wife.
Right. Paula Reed, thank you so much. Coming up next, why the last letter